RiverBender.com.
And I'll be missing you so come Monday, it'll be alright. Come Monday, I'll be holding you tight. I spent
Welcome into this Thursday morning. Our daily show continues in the heart of the 618. Brian Dawson in studio, and really cool opportunity for me. Last night my phone rang and said, hey, I got somebody that's been canoeing the Mississippi River all the way from the headwaters and is in town. And Brian, I'm just excited to talk to you, man. How are you?
I'm great. Good to be here.
Well, Brian, fill me in. Has canoeing been something that you've always done?
Yeah, I've been canoeing all my life. My dad started me in canoeing when I was young, and I'm pretty passionate about it. I love doing it.
Really cool. Well, now you started in the headwaters of Minnesota, and for maybe folks that don't understand where that is, that at the very top of the state?
Yeah, that's it. It's at Lake Itasca, and that's clear up in the northwest corner of the state of Minnesota.
And when did you start your trek?
June 1st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
wow.
It's been a long summer.
Well, and take me through what life's like on the river as you're canoeing.
Oh, it's every bend brings something new, and it's just undescribable. The people that you meet on the river are just amazing, and that's a big part of my love of the river, is just meeting the people and the towns along the way. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of sleeping on sandbars. If we're going through a town, we'll usually camp in the city park, and so far I haven't had any problems with that. The local police are usually real friendly, and if I can get permission, I do, and sometimes I just can't, and because it's late, but I've never had a problem with it. So,
well, and is the Mississippi, because I've heard from all accounts they can be a tough waterway, with canoeing and some of that. Has it been tough, or has it been a pretty smooth trip?
Yeah, well, it's been real tough this summer. We had so much rain up there. All that high water you had down here fell on us up there.
Oh, wow.
We went through 2 tornado warnings. We went through baseball-sized hail in Monticello, and just a lot of hard driving rain, and tearing everything out of the canoe in the morning and drying everything out became a regular part of the trip for a long time this summer.
How do you navigate the storms and hail when you obviously aren't in your home? There's you're out in the open there.
Well, you just prepare for it best you can. Which is just, having everything in waterproof bags, which I found there's almost no such thing as a waterproof bag.
Well, and I just, whenever when did it start to get a little bit better weather-wise for the rain? Was it, because it was pretty rainy for the first it seemed like the middle of June we got hammered.
Yeah, and into July too, we were still getting a lot of rain. It was second half of July, it started drying up. Now it's, I think, getting probably too dry for most folks, but...
And is there something to kind of manage as the weather starts to change here? Because, you're still, making your way down, and now we're getting into fall. Does the water ever change, or any of the speed of it ever change as the seasons move too?
Well, with all that rain we had really good current up there in Minnesota, and now the river's getting bigger, and as more tributaries dump into the river, the pace just keeps quickening. So, it's staying fast.
Wow.
They tell me it's going to get a lot faster below St. Louis because of the Ohio coming in somewhere down there, and I look forward to that. I like the current.
Now, have you done this before?
I attempted it in 21, and then the water was too low to start the headwaters, and we started at Bemidji. And I say we, I mean me and my co-pilot Jade.
Jade's cool. Jade is really, and a great dog too.
Yeah, she is. She's an awesome dog. She's the star of this show. Without her, I'm just another guy in a canoe, But.
So, when did your trek stop in 2021?
It stopped at Savannah, Illinois. My then girlfriend had come to get me to take me back home for Thanksgiving. We started September 25th that year. It was a fall trip, and now it's November 20th, and she came down and got me. And she didn't want me on the river to begin with, but my canoe rode just fine all the way from Savannah, Illinois to Newton, Iowa, which is about a 3.5-hour trip. And the next morning on her way to work, my canoe flew off her truck and it bashed in the side of it, and it took me 3 years to get back on the river again. I decided to just do the whole thing over, and
Wow.
this year I was able to start at the headwaters, which was great. So,
Well, and now take me through that experience. What's it like when you're putting your canoe in there, knowing, hey, we're getting ready to make this journey, man?
well, it was just an amazing feeling for me. It's so exhilarating. I've been waiting all my life to do this. It seemed like, and it was quite a challenge. The water was really fast, and the river's really small up there, and it's borders on class 2 rapids in sections, and
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty amazing. Amazing.
And did it take Jade any adjusting to meet you on the trip? Did she have to learn, what it's like to ride in that canoe, or?
No, she took to it right off the bat.
Oh, that's incredible, man.
Yep, she has guard duty at night, so during the day she sleeps in the canoe, and it works out perfectly for both of us. And
That's awesome. And now, take me through some of the people you've met along the way. You've been at it now for a few months, and I'm sure there's got to be dozens of folks that you've come and encountered.
oh, more than dozens, hundreds. When we stop at a sandbar, kids are lining up to throw stuff for Jade. Jade is OCD about the game of fetch, and she can catch a frisbee. So
That's awesome.
and she just naturally draws people in. And without her, I would probably, the amount of people I would meet would probably be minuscule compared to what I do actually with her along.
Well, and now, do people know that you're making the trek down here now? Is it starting to spread along the river that you're doing this?
Yeah, it is, and it doesn't. I don't know that it spreads ahead of me, but word seems to get out fast.
And I just think it's cool, man, because it's really unique, because no one realizes that's never been on the river, that's never been out there, how tough that river can be, especially the currents and just how far of a journey you've started on. And now, what was your favorite river town? I mean, I know we're in Alton here, and it would be awesome if you said Alton, but was there a spot along up north in like Minnesota that you wanted to shout out, or any place that when you started coming down, you went, man, they did it up right up there?
Well, I just got to Alton late last night, and so I haven't had a chance to really experience Alton yet. But I'll tell you what, Alton's looking pretty darn good. I've had a great experience in what little bit I've been here so far. And as far as Minnesota goes, Minnesota and Iowa both had some really great little river towns. I really haven't run into any river towns I didn't like, except Minneapolis, St. Paul. And I have a feeling St. Louis might be the same way. But
Could be. That's a good point,
Yeah.
and things happen. But
yeah, they've all been great, and the people are just amazing along the river. It's a different breed of people on the river, for sure.
how so, if you don't mind me going into that a little bit
Just
more?
friendliness and trusting, and just a more open and relaxed and chill mindset, I guess. We can go to a sandbar that only boats go to and have an amazing experience. The experience at a sandbar that anybody can get to is a little different. There's a lot more trash around.
Yeah.
People are more, they're not as open and openly friendly with you, I guess. Mm-hmm. There's just a different breed of people on the Mississippi River, and I just love them.
Well, and talk about the trip a little bit more, because just preparing, I wouldn't know where to start, because it's not like you can weigh down the canoe, or how much can you carry with you. Did you have to calculate what you could bring, what you couldn't bring?
Well, I attempted to, and I didn't do a very good job of it. When we started this trip, we had to stay at Itasca 2 days because we had so much stuff in our canoe we couldn't fit ourselves into it.
Oh.
Yeah, and we started the trip with a girlfriend, and she had a few items that I felt were maybe not necessary, but
like hair brushes and stuff, or
and curling irons and different things. The only reason we didn't bring the kitchen sink was because I just refused to unbolt it from the wall. So we sent a package that weighed probably 50 pounds back. I give some local native kids there a bunch of fishing gear, and we still had too much. We were still getting rid of stuff down into Iowa.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing what you don't need, but before you start, you have a hard time visualizing that you're not going to need this particular item, how am I going to get by without that? Well, at the end of the day, when you're canoeing for a few weeks and you realize, you got bags of stuff in your canoe that you've never even opened, you realize, well, it's time to,
And see, that would be the shocker for me, and honestly, the enlightening part of the journey, man, because you realize, well, half the stuff I have is really not what I even need. It's
right. I've become a minimalist inadvertently, and I like canoeing. I like a canoe over a kayak because I hold more stuff, but that's a double-edged sword because, like I say, now you got a lot of extra weight and. Before the Twin Cities, you have to portage every dam and every brush pile, and that means taking everything out of your canoe and carrying it around to where you can get back in the water, which sometimes can be 2 miles.
Oh, wow.
So it makes a huge difference, and you learn fairly quickly, or at least most people learn quickly. It took me a while before I finally got my canoe down to where it was manageable. But
well, and let me ask you this, if it's okay, Brian, did you have a time... with your grandpa, I remember you saying that was it your grandfather you were canoeing with initially, your father?
My father.
Your father. Yeah. Sorry about it. With your father, did he ever prepare you for going on the river, or was there any lessons that you kind of took with you on this journey?
Well, Dad didn't do a lot of canoeing. He was an outdoorsman. He was more of a boat or a fisherman. He had a big one, but he also built a couple canoes, and I helped him build those, and we would take those out and whatnot.
Okay.
But pretty much everything I learned myself the hard way. And
and see, that's what I think's so cool about this now, getting to know you, Brian, is just the learning, because you're going to learn on the fly on this journey.
Absolutely. And there's a lot to learn, and a lot a person maybe should know before they go into it with the locking dams and whatnot, and the different things that big water like the Mississippi can do that you don't realize. I canoed a lot of the interior waters of Iowa, the Des Moines River and Iowa River, Skunk River, but it's a totally different thing with the Mississippi.
How so? Is it the current? Is it the way the water travels? Is it the speed of it?
It's all the above. You got a hard north wind coming down, and right before the locks, it'll create a choppy situation that can be, 3-foot swells that are just going back and forth, kind of like a giant washing machine right there in front of the lock, and
how do you get out of those?
Well, you don't. You got to wait for them to open the lock up to get out of it.
It makes sense. But if you're ever in a situation like that where the current gets too strong, do you have to like paddle a certain way? Do you have to move a certain way with the canoe, or? Well,
you just have to just be ready for anything, and you have to, it's kind of hard to explain. There's just so many different situations that create things in the water that a person might not be ready for, with wing dams that are under the water that you don't see. And with all this rain we had, of course, that made for a strong current. So if you were looking at the spot you were supposed to get out at, before you realize that's where you were getting out at, it's too late to go back because the current's too strong to turn around and paddle back upstream. I found that to be true after all that heavy rain we had. You were just, there were several places where we wanted to camp, and we didn't see them quickly enough and shot past them, and then, they're history now because you've gone past it,
What about barges? How do you navigate that and the other traffic that is on the river?
You give them a lot of room and a lot of respect. Barges, and they watch out for people too. They're constantly looking, and I do a lot of traveling at night, and that's one of the reasons I do, because when I'm out there at night, I'm the only thing that barge sees, and they've got a guy that constantly is scanning the water, and they see me out there at night, but you want to give them a lot of room. We had a kayaker couple of years ago. I remember he got too close to a parked barge, and he didn't realize the danger of the undertow, and it sucked him underneath the barge, and luckily for him, it spit him out the side. They never found his kayak, but his journey was done.
Oh my goodness, man, that's deadly.
Yeah, when I say we had, I post to a group on Facebook called Mississippi River Paddlers, and I do that every 3 or 4 days, and it's mainly just paddlers who are canoeing the Mississippi River. And it was one of the members on that I'm talking about.
Now, and on top of that too, is it just when you find a river town, is that when you get to charge your electronics and all of that, or how does that work? Do you have solar batteries, or?
I have a solar charger and a small battery that I keep with me, and then every chance I get when I'm in a town, I'll plug my stuff in, and try to keep it charged up. And
man, I just think this is so cool. And now, throughout the day, how do you feed yourself on the river? Do you wait for the river town, or do you fish and eat that way?
Well, when I started this trip, I kind of had in mind that I would be foraging a lot. I'm a big time mushroom hunter. And
okay,
fisherman.
Yeah.
But
man, we got some good mushrooms here, by the way.
I know you do. I didn't find near the mushrooms that I wanted to, and the fishing was really tough because of the fast, high water. It's too fast to troll effectively, and I can't anchor with the canoe, so
right.
Yeah, the fishing was pretty much non-existent. We did catch a few catfish, but Jade won't eat catfish. She turns her nose up at it, but then the next day we'll eat teriyaki rice with me, so...
That's awesome, man. Well, take me to getting into Alton. You got in last night. What was? When did you get into town, and where'd you land at?
Well, we got into town late. It was after dark, and rather than navigate with all the traffic here on the river with the barges and stuff, first chance I had to get out of it, I did there at the Argosy, and I pulled in behind there and parked my canoe down there last night and walked in town, and we were looking for a place to eat, and that's where we met Donnie. And yeah.
Well, and that's what I think's just awesome, because I got the phone call and went, absolutely, I want to talk to Brian, because, to hear the story is just wonderful, man. I mean, this is awesome. And now, take me through just your takeaway of Alton. Where'd you stop in and eat at?
Is it Max?
Yep.
Yeah, Max. We seen the sign that said T-Bone Tuesday, 1999, and I'm like, I'm in. And Jade loves the bone, and so it was perfect for both of us.
Nice.
And it was very good too. I highly recommend it.
Well, and what's it like finding connections like this just at random? Because a lot of people, man, it's hard for them to kind of just walk into a new place and feel welcomed and be welcomed. How'd you navigate that? Is that something that just came naturally to you?
Well, it's just the people. There again, the people on the river, they're very welcoming, and I don't search out someone to give us any aid or anything. They're just there. I mean, the people are just that friendly. And
that's awesome, man.
We were at a sandbar one weekend, and it was a nice little sandbar, and I knew it was a Friday night when I pulled in there, and I knew that the next day that sandbar was going to be busy with people, and I was really just wanting to relax and have that sandbar to myself. So I took my fishing poles and I cast them out there, and I parked my canoe parallel, and to really discourage anybody from stopping. And this boat stopped anyway the next morning. I was like, I kind of sighed, and I waved at him, friendly like, and went out there and pulled my lines in, so they wouldn't be a problem for those folks, and they were real friendly, and they give me and Jade some food, and that was really nice of them, and I'm starting to feel bad about wanting to hog that sandbar to myself. Well, they left, and they came back 2 hours later and said, hey, we're done for the day. We want you to have what we have left of our food.
Wow.
And they give me all their sandwiches and water and pop, and I just really touched by that. And the girl in the boat, one of the girls in the boat said, there just isn't enough kindness in the world. And it kind of made my eyes water up a little bit, and I had to turn away and
yeah, man,
go back to the tent and eat my humble pie. And,
you're right, though. But seriously, though, all this stuff like that you're even learning just, along the way, totally huge, because I'd have been the same way. Get the hell out of here, man. I'm the only one here, and to hear that special, man. And now, when are you going to be out of town? Are you leaving today to get back on the road or on the river?
Yeah, most likely. I want to get resupplied today and do some laundry, and I want to make sure when I hit St. Louis that I don't have to stop. And I just cruise right on through there.
Yeah, good idea. Honestly, probably the best idea.
Yeah, I think our resources are getting pretty limited after St. Louis. I think there's a town 30 miles down that has some stuff fairly close to the water, and then after that it gets pretty desolate.
Really?
Towns are fewer and far between, and I think the river just gets so much wider that towns can't be down on that floodplain. So it's just yeah, it's a good time to stock up.
And then when does it start? When do you start to see civilization again on the river after that? Is it not until the end? Is that pretty much it?
Well, there'll be some places. You got Memphis down there, and I'm excited about Memphis. The person who has the record for being the oldest person to canoe the Mississippi is down there, and I'll be getting some help from him, Dale Sanders.
Really cool.
He had that record when he was 82, and then that was broke by Stan Stark, and I don't know for sure these days, but I mean, it was a couple years later. Stan Stark beat it at 83. Well, Dale here just recently, within the last couple of years, at the age of 89, got his record back.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yes, it is.
Man.
Yes, it is.
Well, and just what's your takeaway just on doing this? Would you do the trip again? Even if you get through it all the way, would you go ahead for round 2?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I kind of want to do it again this year. If I'd gotten done quick enough, I want to turn around and do it in the fall, just to get that title of having done it twice in one season. But that ain't going to happen this year. It's going to take me too long to get this done. So. Well,
Brian, I really appreciate talking to you, man. I mean, this has been nothing but fun, and honestly, best of luck on your travels. How much longer do you think it's going to take you to the end of the road?
I'm guessing about maybe the first or second week in October.
Oh, so you're getting close.
Well, I say that, but we just love. It's all about the journey, not the destination for us. And if there's people to converse with down the way and meet and towns to check out, and we'll do that. So.
Well, Brian, I really appreciate your time, and I'm glad. I want to thank Donnie Hubert, too, for lining this up, because it's not every day that this happens. And safe travels. I hope it all goes well. And if you're ever back in town, stop by and give us an update on trip number 2.
Well, I will do that. I absolutely will.
Really cool. We'll take a quick break. Daily Show on a Thursday morning continues right after this in the heart of the 618 on RiverBender.com, Roku TV.